PSA about mental health. A lot of people are dealing with their issues with mental health. Of course, in particular, people are dealing with there's definitely been in the air people who've been dealing with suicide, removing oneself from their own journey. For those who don't understand where that comes from, it typically comes from about 2 or 3 places. The first one being feeling that they have no use, no purpose. Second being just being in an immense amount of pain that they feel like will never change or never let up. They have a feeling like they have to do something about it. And then probably the third one would probably be feeling like their problems are not solvable. The problems that they are facing can't be solved. And if you felt these feelings before, maybe you can relate. If you can't relate, you can't relate. But I'm sure that there are those who can relate to that. The one thing I want to say, though, so many things I want to say, but the one point I want to make is if you know you felt like this and yet you're still here, alive, you survived your own death threats, then maybe there's something to that. Especially if you've had these feelings for a long time. Maybe you are serving a purpose after all. Because the fact of the matter is the fact that you're still alive, despite not wanting to be. In a way, you have been making a decision to stay. And so if you have been deciding, whether it was direct or indirectly, to stay, if you have been deciding to stay, genuinely and fervently stay. With your mind, with your body. Set the intention such that you're not skirting on the periphery of life as you have been. Not quite alive, but not dead. Where you just putting in the minimalist of energy, and maybe that's all the energy that you have, so I understand. But you're not skirting on that, again, that periphery, in the sense that you aren't taking the opportunity to feel alive. Because you're trying to live as close as possible to death without actually being dead. because of the fact that you're still alive, honor yourself, hug yourself, bless yourself, bliss yourself, be thankful, but decide, really decide to stay mentally, commit to staying. And I know it's really easy to want to escape that feeling of starting over, the feelings of pushing through and pushing through longer than you imagined that you'd be pushing through. In some cases, way longer than you thought you'd be pushing through. Especially if your vision of where this could lead is not strong. Especially if, you've had setback after setback. I get it. But when you look at yourself and when you look at other people, and particularly those who may, if you could find people who may be inspiring, the one thing I want you to recognize is, and want everybody to recognize, is our infinite potentiality. As long as we got breath in our lungs, we have the potentiality to create. And to create new moments, new meanings, and new ways of life. And I think in that process of committing to actually being alive and staying alive and using your energy to really have that happen, we forget about that. We forget about our potentiality. All we see is kinetic energy. All we see is, movement and fast and things like that. And we forget about our own potentiality. Your potentiality is looked at even when you don't look at it. Consider that. But really commit to it. Really commit to living. And understand that in the process of you really trying to understand your purpose, your role for yourself, your personal purpose, and then of your community that you may be part of, communities you may be part of, and the small brick that helps create the world. Understand your potentiality. Understand you have access to your potentiality. And you only have access to the potentiality that can play a role in purpose. You only have that if you are alive.